So, you've finally planned your first visit to Lisbon, Portugal. You're so excited by the adventure that awaits. You've been told by friends and family about all the exciting and cool things to see and do. You're told to ride the tram, explore the city, visit all the tucked-away places hidden behind the city's many curving roads and hills. Also, you're told to indulge in the delicious cuisine, especially the pastries. Portuguese cuisine is notable for having many different and tasty pastries, but by far, the most famous is the Pastel de Nata. This is an absolute must-have, and you're told that the best place to have it is where it first became famous among locals and tourists alike. Welcome to Pastéis de Belém, located in the Belém district. In the historic Belém district of Lisbon, within the walls of the Jeronimos Monastery, one of Portugal's most beloved treasures was born the Pastel de Nata. Centuries ago, monks lived and worked in this monastery, sustaining themselves through simple means. They used egg whites to starch their robes, a common practice at the time. But this left them with an abundance of egg yolks. Rather than waste them, the monks turned to their kitchens and began creating rich, sweet pastries. From this ingenuity came a delicate custard tart, flaky pastry filled with creamy egg custard, lightly caramelized on top. What began as a practical solution soon became something extraordinary. When the monastery closed in the 19th century, the recipe was passed on and eventually shared with the world. Today, the Pastel de Nata stands as a symbol of Portuguese culture, its origins forever tied to the creativity and resourcefulness of the monks of Jeronimos. You've made your order and now get to try this delicious pastry. As you're enjoying this pastry, you can't help but notice that it reminds you of a dessert you have had in the past. It reminds you of the time you had dim sum at a local Chinese restaurant. One of the dim sum items was the Chinese egg tart. This egg tart's taste and texture is very similar to the Pastel de Nata. Now why is this? Well, it reminds you of the egg tart you had in the local Chinese restaurant, because it is based on the Pastel de Nata brought over in colonial times. See, back in the 1600s, the Portuguese Empire was a colonial powerhouse. Their possessions stretched all the way from Europe to Africa and Asia and the India. One of these Portuguese lands was Macau, China. The Portuguese presence in Macau, China began in the mid-16th century, when traders from the Kingdom of Portugal established a permanent settlement around 1557. Macau became one of the earliest and most important European outposts in East Asia, serving as a crucial link in maritime trade between China, Japan, India, and Europe. Portuguese merchants were primarily interested in silk, spices, porcelain, and other valuable goods. In exchange, they brought silver, textiles, and products from their global trading network. Macau thrived as a commercial hub because it operated with the approval of the Chinese Ming government, which allowed the Portuguese to reside there while maintaining Chinese sovereignty over the territory. Beyond trade, Macau became a center for cultural and religious exchange. Catholic missionaries, including over time, Macau developed a unique identity shaped by both Portuguese and Chinese traditions, visible in its architecture, cuisine, and language. The Portuguese administered the territory for over 4 centuries, until it was handed back to China in 1999, marking the end of one of the longest-lasting European presences in Asia. While the Portuguese lived in Macau, they requested that their Chinese wives cook for them items like the ones they enjoyed at home. These ladies began to make pastel de nata, which became the origin for the Chinese egg tart known today as dan tat. This is why the two pastries are a bit different yet taste so similar. So, next time you happen to enjoy a pastel de nata, or any other tasty treat, take a moment to pause and reflect on the long and varied history that created it. By the way, the British colonials brought over their own egg tarts, leading to the Chinese in Hong Kong to develop their own creamier version of the British egg tart. The Cantonese chefs their swapped short crust pastry, commonly used for dim sum dishes, and used pork lard instead of butter. Delicious.